Alright, so welcome back to another video. So today's video I'm going to be talking about how to replace the instrument cluster in your 04 up, basically F150. So in this case, this is an STX and XL is similar. They come with this base model cluster, and popular upgrade would be to upgrade to an XLT cluster or even an FX4 or Lariat or some higher trim. Today I'm just going to cover upgrading to an XLT cluster here. So basically we're just adding a tachometer, okay? That's really all there is to it. So a couple things to note. The mileage of the vehicle, there's a lot of debate on this. It is stored in the cluster. It is not stored in the computer, it's stored in the instrument cluster itself. So if you just buy an instrument cluster off of eBay, whatever mileage was stored in that instrument cluster is going to be what is displayed when you put it in the truck. There's no way to change that through the programming that I'm going to show you today. The only people that can change that are specialized shops that have a way to rewrite the EEPROM on the instrument cluster. So some of these you can buy off eBay and they include mileage correction. So if you want to keep the mileage, obviously you want to keep the mileage accurate on your truck. You'll want to get a service that includes the mileage correction like I did. But that's not all it's required. So if you just swap these out, it will work. Just plug and play. If we just pull the old one out, install the new one, plug it in, it will work, but there'll be some problems, some compatibility issues. People report that the door ajar timer doesn't work. Maybe the overhead dome light doesn't work. That's actually controlled the instrument cluster. Little things like that. So what I'm going to show you today is how to use FORScan and a cheap Elm OBD2 tool like this and the free program FORScan. I'm going to show you how to correctly do it to take the settings from the stock instrument cluster and then push them into the new instrument cluster so that everything works like it's supposed to. All right, so the first thing, I'm going to plug my OBD tool flasher into the OBD2 port, and I'm going to open FORScan on the computer here. You do need an extended license. Okay. So it tells you to make sure the ignition key is in the on position. If you have a switch on your scan tool, it will need to be in the HS can position. So we'll click OK. So it's found our adapter. It's going through the initial boot up process. So this vehicle may contain UBP modules. Does the Elm adapter have an ISO UBP switch? If you don't know, click I don't know. Would you like to save this profile? Yes. Okay. So these are all the modules I found. Our PCM, 4x4 control module, ABS module, instrument cluster, and restraint control module. So that should be it. So the one we want to deal with is our instrument cluster control module. So we're going to go over here to module configuration. So we're going to go to module control, module configuration as built format. And we're going to click the play button down here. And it's just saying, it's giving you a warning saying, hey, if you mess with these settings, you can mess up your truck. So click OK. All right, so these are the numbers that are from the stock instrument cluster. Okay, so we want to save this. Okay, this is our backup. So we're going to go down here to the bottom. We're going to click Save All. And we will call this our 2005 F150 STX. And we'll say stock instrument cluster, stock IC. We'll call it backup, just in case something goes wrong. And we're actually going to need that to push that into the new one. So if we look here, you'll see our 0640-0000-006F. That's the programming for this instrument cluster. When I plug in the new one, we'll read it, and I'll show you that it's different. Basically what we want to do is we want to take this configuration and we're going to push that into our new instrument cluster. So I'm going to save this. And once we're done there, we can exit our service procedure. And then we will close out of this program. And we'll go ahead and disconnect this for now. And now it is time to physically remove the instrument cluster from the dash. So to do that, I'm going to start by, if you kind of pull dash out here, you'll see there's a bolt like that. And on this side, there's another one. So I'm going to remove those two, and then we're going to take this whole top piece off right here, and that will leave us our instrument cluster to take out. 7mm need to come out right here. So we'll do that on both sides. All right, so the next step is take a trim removal tool, something like this, kind of pry along. Just be careful, don't scratch anything up. It just comes out like that. Now there's just 4 7mm bolts that hold the instrument cluster in. All right, so to undo the wiring harness, you basically want to push down on this little black tab while pulling this to the right. You'll need to use like a little plastic screwdriver or something, so I can't really do it with one hand. Same thing over here, just push down the little black tab in the middle and then pull this like that, and then they just pull straight up out of there. Push down. See, it just slides over, and then it pulls out just like that. Pulls over, and it slides out like that. And once we got our bolts out, there's one more thing. You have your shifter down here. You have your shift select indicator. To get this out of here, you just pull these 2 little black plastic tabs like this, and this whole thing will slide out of here. So that's what we want to do on the one that's in the dash. We want to, you know, pull these 2 plastic tabs and slide that out of there. That way we don't have to disassemble the column and try to pull it all apart. Reach up in here, and now I have removed the stock cluster. So really simple to put the new one in. We just, same thing, slide that back up into place. Okay, you can see I've got that slid into the new cluster. It's pushed into place here. Before I hook everything, well, before I button everything up, I'm going to go ahead and plug it in and show you the rest of the steps here. And then obviously the rest of this is just the reverse removal. So you can see we've got power. Our needles are going through their little test. Okay, which is normal. See that it does work. All right, so here's where some of our problems are. So we've got, you know, a Fahrenheit reading, we've got a compass reading. None of this stuff is supported on our STX truck. Again, your mileage will be what was in the cluster. But we'll go ahead and reconnect the computer, and I'll show you how to fix everything in the programming. All right, so I'm back in Forescan, and I'm connecting. All right, so we're connecting. I'm not gonna load the previous profile. Okay, you can see we've already got DTCs in the instrument cluster module, which I'll show you what those are here. So communication bus fault, courtesy switch fault. This is all, the compass module is not responding. External air temperature circuit open. That's because none of those things are connected. That's what we're going to fix right now. So we're going to go back to our module configuration, which is this option right here. I'm going to click module configuration as built format, and we're going to click the play button down at the bottom of the screen. Again, our warning message. All right, so now these are the numbers this time. I'm going to go ahead and save these just in case. What I'll save this as is 05 F150 XLT instrument cluster default, just so we have that saved somewhere. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to load the settings right here where it says load from file, load all. So I'm going to click that. I'm going to find that first one that we saved. So we want 2005 F150 STX stock backup. Remember, that's the one we saved a few minutes ago. And you see when I load it, it changed the settings to what they were. Now I'm going to go down here. I'm going to click write all. This action will completely rewrite the module configuration. Are you sure? Yes. Okay, so our instrument cluster makes some noise. Please cycle ignition off. And then back on. Let's see. Do that. Alright, so this is door jar. So let me go ahead and close the door here. You'll see that now we have our trip odometer back like we did before, which all this button does now is reset the trip. It's just like our XLT, and our dome light is working correctly when we open the door, and you can hear it chimes when we open the door. So everything is now working correctly, so we can even start the truck. See that now we have a tachometer. If you want, make sure everything else is working. Make sure your lights are working and all that. Dimmer switch. So that's all there is to it. So again, we'll go ahead and hit the stop button. We'll close out of here and disconnect from our OBD2 port once you turn the truck off. But that is how you correctly install, one of the higher trim level instrument clusters into your F-150. So hopefully the video was helpful. If it was, be sure to hit the like button. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments below. I'll leave a link in the description to the unit that I use, the OBD2 scanner that I use. If you want to buy it and use the same thing on your truck, and I'll leave a link to how you can download 4Scan. So until next time, we'll see you later.